What is your shirt?
Mine's cooler.
My shirt's the best.
My shirt is better than your shirt.
Episode three. That was. I felt this episode was great. It totally was just so, artistic.
No.
Everything about it was so artistic. Like everything from the intro to the Japanese truck. I mean the sushi truck, all the way to the very end with, spoiler alert with the bullet. This episode was really good. I don't know.
You
I
this
can't
one?
say it was well written. It had like a lot of story flow.
I can't tell if you're being sincere. If you're, I can't say if you're being sincere or if you're being sarcastic.
What do you feel?
I can't tell if you're being sincere or if you're just being entirely sarcastic. Yeah, so I can't tell if you're being sincere or if you're being sarcastic.
No, I'm totally being sincere. Like this was really good.
That sounded so sarcastic.
Did it sound really sarcastic?
It's like, yeah, I'm totally sincere.
I'm totally sincere. Yeah, this episode was really genuinely.
So you generally enjoyed this episode?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it, even though I did fall asleep like in the middle-ish.
Oh my god,
that's insane. I was tired. It's not really tired, but I did watch to finish it off, and I was like, oh, this is actually a really good episode. Like,
oh
yeah.
I will say this is probably Netflix's better adaptation of an anime so far
as a whole.
Yeah, compared to their earlier ones.
What else did they adapt to?
Death Note.
Oh yeah, Death Note. They didn't do the Attack on Titan one, did they?
I don't know, but I do definitely remember their Death Note one, and that one was like a train wreck from like the first second.
Well, actually, what was that? Home Sweet Home. Wasn't that manhwa? And it actually ended up being a really good show too. There's a Korean one where each
Home Sweet Home, is that produced by Netflix?
Maybe not.
I think I felt like that was like a Korean production.
Yeah, Korean production into distribution. I mean,
yeah.
I don't like it. It would be nice to know, like, does Netflix actually create these, or they just fund it and then have studios create them? You know what I mean?
Probably they probably do have like the studios, right? That they fund or they produce.
Right. So, I mean, I guess it all depends on like Netflix specifically, because I mean, you think about Stranger Things, it's from the Duffer Brothers, but it is a Netflix original. And then I think of the OA, which is of course Netflix original, but obviously, what's his name had written the story and done all the production. And actually, executive producer was Brad Pitt. So
for what?
For OA. Remember the
OA? Yeah, that's right.
But there's also that show that was broadcasted on Australia television. I forget what it's called. Alive. It was. I watched all 3 seasons of it. The one where they bury people and then they come back to life. Like they bury people within a certain radius of this electromagnetic field, and then they come back to life. I don't know what it's called, but I remember just staying up, like binging the whole thing.
I definitely don't remember that, or I don't think I watched it.
Yeah, you gotta watch that. Maybe we should do a podcast for like the top, like 10, 15 songs.
But that.
I mean, songs, shows.
Wait, top 15 shows? Like Netflix produced shows, or just like shows in general?
I guess shows on Netflix in general. That's what I would say.
Because like anything could be on Netflix then, right?
Anything? That's what makes it kind of hard, because you could say the top 15 things on Netflix, but then
like, because I think
they take things off too, right? Don't they take things off?
Yeah, they do, but not their Netflix ones, not the Netflix produced ones.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that makes sense. I mean, Amazon wouldn't take off Amazon Prime ones, right? That were on the actual show itself. But Yeah, episode 3 was really good. I think John Cho did a good job. There was a balance of like humor as well, especially when he was fighting the face changer.
Hakeem.
Yeah, when he was fighting Hakeem. I thought that was pretty impressive. Well, the fight was not impressive. It was kind of slow, but I felt that, the joke that he said after Hakeem did the flip, oh, that's impressive, or is it, oh, that's cool, or
he just said nice.
Yeah, he said nice, and then yeah, when he said that, I was like, oh, that's pretty funny, like it's just
that's so funny.
Yeah, it's like John Cho kind of like interjected humor. And I forget that lady, but the projected lady who knew Jet.
Woodcock.
Yeah, Woodcock. Oh my gosh, yeah. And then like she kind of stole the show in that scene. In that scene, she kind of just stole the whole scene, because I was like, man, this girl's crazy and eccentric, but like she did a good job, I think, playing with the characters. So a lot of nice, like, cool things in episode 3. So I think if anyone is picking this up, like, make it past episode 3. I always tell friends, I'm like, make it past episode blah blah blah, and then once they do, you're sure to like it. So I think anyone who makes it past episode 3 will surely like this version of Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, I would say it depends.
Well, you might know more than I do.
No. I think it depends on like how much of a fan you were of the original anime. It makes a difference.
Oh, does it? I mean, were there any references in episode 3 that you felt were, I guess?
Well, not references. I mean, everything is a huge reference to
Cowboy Bebop,
right? Like even the episodes and the characters.
What about the doll? What about the doll they were selling?
Oh, that was different. I didn't even know what to think of that.
Doll is ugly as F, man. What an ugly ass doll.
Yeah, I didn't really understand the purpose of the doll. Yeah. I guess it was just for like humor purposes, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like Walking Sally. It's kind of like like those old 90s dolls that people used to buy.
The laughs and talks. That was, interestingly enough, it felt like, how John Cho was saying, like, oh, all of this was nothing, because at the end he kind of just gets shot, right, and they lose the bounty. Spoiler alert. But after that, I felt like they broke the fourth wall by him saying, like, oh, see what's gonna happen in 17 seconds. And I was gonna count the 17 seconds, but I decided not to. So, but that was cool as well. Like, I feel like maybe it took the studio, the production, and the people like time to just feel comfortable with the characters and maybe the things around it, and like they finally fell into the shell like at episode 3.
Your camera went off.
I know, because I'm probably calling me, or oh no. All that happened was it said that now I'm getting a call. Now I'm getting a call.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely need a webcam.
Mystery writer. Yeah, what were you doing for Cyber Monday?
Me? Not getting a camera. No, PD did give me some advice on cameras, though. I should just order one. Anyway, moving back to the episode, so Kevin can cut all this brouhaha. Brouhaha. Maybe I should just put my phone on airplane mode, or maybe we should just keep it all in. Then he doesn't have to edit anything.
Yeah, even the effect that he calls random people
off throughout. Not random. It's actually not random. Just people calling. I'm a busy man, important person. So, I think the cadence of the episode also went really well. Like going from the whole like doll, or like the sushi truck to the doll by staying on. They were on Mars, right?
Tharsis.
Is that Mars?
No, it's a planet.
Oh, so they have all these extra planets. So Tharsis, and then obviously Jet wanted to leave, but because the sushi man who told him he wanted to stay, he ended up trying to convince Jet to stay, right? And of course that brought into the whole doll and the bounty, and then of course everything else that kind of went along. But
yeah, this whole point about actually that brings a good point, is like the whole concept of Spike keeping his past a secret from Jet.
right.
I think that's something else that people have to get used to.
Why was that not the case in the anime?
It's never really addressed in the anime, but I think it's kind of like I think it's like I think Jet already knew, or it was already established that
He had an idea
about his
past.
past. Yeah. See, okay, the hard part is like, and I don't want to nitpick at this because there's a lot of good things about this series.
Yeah, and the episode. This episode is the bomb.
Yeah, and it's just that, and I don't want to like nitpick at things like, oh, it's like as if it's just something different from the show is just different in many ways, but it's like they're changing so many aspects of like each character's like personality,
Right.
and it's like it's very not jarring, but it kind of like throws me off a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I don't know if that's good. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because going into this, I already knew like there was gonna be, they're probably gonna switch things up a little bit, but yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of things that they are changed, and I don't know if they're doing it intentionally or if they don't realize that this is like the effect it's having on people.
I mean, that makes sense, because sometimes I feel like in certain cases, like you can have talent to produce a TV show or a movie, but you may not have a passion for the project or for the like let's say that somebody does what is that show called, Kill Bill, right? Like Kill Bill, this gives me a lot of Kill Bill vibes, and they find the producer that does Kill Bill, but he doesn't watch the anime. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of like actors, producers, editors, they all do their research, right, to kind of get the authenticity. But if the person is like, oh shoot, this is an anime, it's kind of weird watching cartoons, I'm not really into it, like you have to kind of find that match between the talent and the creative vision of the individual, and then of course the person who's able to who's able to produce it, right, with the skills and talent to be able to do it. So,
yeah, the biggest change I can feel like is the main, I feel like the main theme from or at least the main motif from Cowboy Bebop anime is like it's all about personal choice. Like you can choose, the fact is like everyone has a choice in life, and like your choices have consequences, and that's like really what the show is all about. It's like every person's choice that they make has a certain consequence later down the line.
Right. Yeah.
And
that's the.
And it's like you can't run away from it, right? It's like eventually you're gonna have to confront it.
I think that was the beauty of the fast forward, right? Like all of these people have a past, they made choices. Yeah. And this is kind of the end result.
Yeah, and then it just kind of feels like how in this series, right? It's not about. I mean, I guess they do kind of like bring it about, but in a different way. It's like it feels like the choice is kind of like out of each character's hands.
Yeah.
Like certain like scenarios or certain events just occur. Yeah. And they are not out of the blue, and it's like they're not forced. They're not forced to make a decision, but they're not. They don't have to choose a decision. Like it's forced upon them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense. I mean, I think there's a lot of situations where when you're friends with someone or you're with someone and they make choices, and you're like, oh, that was a bad choice, and then you kind of pay for it at the end. Just like friends and drinking.
Yeah, like for example, like fast forwarding to in this episode, when the part where Spike is confronting Vicious with a sniper, like over the phone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's your favorite part.
One of my favorite parts. I mean, obviously, I really like Woodpecker or wood hard on, whatever her name is.
Woodcock.
Woodcock, sorry.
Woodpecker. Yeah, so like during that whole series of events, right? Like, okay, that's an example. That's like one example of where, you know, there's a choice involved, but I think it's a choice that was forced upon the characters. For example, Spike only seeks out Vicious to let him know, like, to stay away, right? Because he was hunted by an assassin, right?
Right. Yeah.
As opposed to before, where it's like, you know, Spike only confronts Vicious because he wants to in order to put the past behind him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you know, I guess it's still early on in the episode, and that's I mean, I get it. Like they're introducing this whole concept of the syndicate into Spike's past a lot sooner than normal
in the anime.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, it does make sense that they need to somehow make a bridge between you know, what's happening right now and then what lead that up to the finale that I'm hoping they keep the same.
Why was the finale good?
Yeah, it's so good.
Okay, well, I don't care. Actually, as long as I know that it's good to.
Well, at least the
like, is it kind of like a reveal good, or like oh, I knew that all along good, or?
No, it's such a great episode. Like, okay, maybe not the finale, but like the halfway point.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's why we're trying to power through these as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Yeah, let's get through this. Because
I don't really know how all of this is gonna play out, because the order of events, right, is just so different. So I don't really know I don't know exactly where they're gonna end it all, because the anime only has technically one season, but split into like 2 parts.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's a very, very short anime, but it's like 24 episodes long or something like that.
Is it a full anime? It was Cowboy Bebop only like 2 seasons?
1 season.
Oh.
It's literally only 1 season.
And it had a closing, like no second season. It was a closer.
No, it was very open-ended.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really left up to like the person's interpretation.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I don't know exactly like at which point they're gonna end on, because it seems like they're not really gonna reach at this rate. They're not gonna reach the very end of the anime, and that would make sense too, because like if they want to do a second season, they have to leave some room left.
Right, of course, especially if the anime doesn't have any source material left.
Yeah, there is none left after the anime. Like that, it just ends. Wow. So I already suspect that it's going to end at the halfway point of where the anime ends, or at least the halfway point of the anime in terms of events. So, and I know that scene is like very, very important to not just the fans, but also just to the series overall and to Spike's character. Just like it plays into like who he is and like the importance, like it's setting up like all the events that are down the line. And I can honestly see like that, you know, being a jumping board for the second season to start off from.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as these episodes unfold, I mean, we'll kind of see how far Netflix takes it, and you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, this one was really good. Like Dark Star Swing introduced another member to the crew, Ein, the dog.
Oh, he's part of the crew?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think that. See?
Yeah.
That's the difference between watching the anime and not really.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, at the end, right, Jet is trying to give the dog to his daughter, Kimi, as a birthday gift.
Yeah, I was aware of that, but I mean, I didn't expect.
But then, like, Jet's supposed to take him back, right?
Right. Well, and in this, you know, for people who haven't seen the anime or the TV show and don't know what's going on, apparently in this world, dogs they're not commonplace. So there's a whole bunch of dogs that were abused by their rich owners, and that's why at the end, the guy actually is a good person and then gets shot.
Were they abused? I thought his whole concept was that they cared more about the dogs than other humans.
Oh, I thought they were abused. Oh, he was talking. Maybe he was talking about the abuse of him and his family.
Like I know, like he mentioned when on they were from Earth and the Earth asteroid blew up as they were evacuating Earth.
And
I
then
guess the rich people gave their
dogs
seats.
in the pods, right?
Yeah, and they left people behind.
But I think the rich people didn't take care of the dogs. That's why he took them.
No, I think he was just freaking mad crazy.
Mad crazy. That's what all bad.
Yeah, and like I said, this is like, oh, this is so different from what I'm used to.
Oh yeah,
everything is different. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, well, it's not different for me. It's great.
Nothing is true.
It's all that I expected.
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
It's all that I expected it to be.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was an enjoyable season. You know, I mean, enjoyable episode. I think like for what it is, you know, it is very watchable, and it's definitely not as bad as like people make it out.
Oh yeah, we talked about that in the first podcast. So you gotta watch that to know what people were thinking about it.
No, you don't need to. Just don't even listen to them. A lot of the hate I feel like is unwarranted.
Well, I would say at least watch our first episode if you're stumbling upon this third episode.
Oh, yeah. No, I meant like other people complaining about the live action.
Oh yeah. I mean, but those people are fans, right? I'm obviously someone just watching it as someone.
Yeah, you can still be fans of both. Like you could be a fan of the original, and I'm, you know, if I don't think about like from an anime perspective or from like the original perspective, you know, it's just an enjoyable experience. Like I said, the characters are likable, the story is passable, right? It moves along at a reasonable pace.
Yeah.
Like it's not boring.
Right, and then I think the characters are very self-aware, like I was saying, like you know, they knew that the whole chase was kind of just a bust because he got shot in the head, and then
exactly. And I do enjoy actually the partnership dynamic between Spike and
yeah, I was gonna talk about that. They are very like in sync, like the humor, and like there's moments where they're just laughing, and like I'm like, oh my god, that's so funny. It's like I guess they were just laughing in real life possibly, and they just left it in. Like there's moments like that where I'm like, oh, you know, it's like their relation, their bond, right? I thought
and Spike's and Spike in this one seems more human than to his original counterpart. Because in that one, I mean, honestly, you can narrow him down to like just a really, really sad Robert Frost poem.
I actually do feel that I would rather him be superhuman, but being human,
he seems more personable, I would say, in this one.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it is different. It's just he seems more like an actual human.
Yeah. Well, is he not an actual human?
No. I mean, he is. I'm just saying, like, you just see more sides to this Spike than in the original anime, or at least John Cho, you know, adds more
personality to the character.
Like different faces of personalities to this character.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a nice change to see that. You know?
Yeah. And look for episode 4 because it's going to be the best. Actually, I wouldn't know. I didn't watch it yet. But episode was 3, so I'm sure episode 4 will be great. So stay tuned for that podcast. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you later. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. Tick, tick, boom.